Jaka Babnik is a photographer from Slovenia. He was here on the invitation of Eddin Khoo, the founder of Pusaka. Pusaka formed in 2002 to document traditional Malay cultural heritage. Invited Jaka over for an opportunity to document these traditional art forms through his photography.
It's kind of hard to make it authentic when you have the guys carrying the gear.
During the course of 2 weeks, Jaka would capture on film ritual performances of Main Puteri, Mak Yong, Wayang Kulit and the more entertaining Dikir Barat. The challenge for Jaka, although not apparent at first, was to take the photographs whilst a video documentary was being shot on the ceremonies and performances, meaning that he had to exploit the lighting for video. Flash was a big no-no and he had to shoot with a lot of movements from the performers. Jaka shoots primarily on film. We speak to him on the second day of a 2-day Main Puteri ritual about what's been happening the day before, his thoughts as he goes about capturing the images and the challenges he faced.
Air tak minum bukan kata ayah nak kira apa, ayah nak muda cadar orang tidak ni. Benar. Kerana sebab ini malam penduduk ayah nak banyak ini ni takut ada tak silap kayu subet takut adanya pacak di kaya dewa.
Is this the first time that you've done something where there's a lot of movement?
I mean, I did theater. I mean, I still do it quite oftenly, so it's not the first time, but for sure the first time in this kind of environment with such a dim light and so many things going on in such a small space. So yeah.
What was going through your mind as you were trying to capture the images of last night?
I mean, with photography, we always tend to hide under the behind our lenses. So the camera is a barrier between you and the object. So I'm more like focused on like composing and like getting the light right, but you cannot escape the sounds and everything else that comes with it, you know. So you're feeling this power that it's coming from the performers, and you try to make sense. But I'm only going to be able to make sense once I'm get home and develop all the photos. But I would say it's quite intense, even though I don't understand Malay, but you don't need translation for this.
What were the challenges you faced in terms of, for example, like the sitting position, the very fast movement, the lighting, the microphone sticking out?
I'm curious how it would be if it wouldn't be also documentary filming going on. Then I can imagine just being like 2 or 3 light bulbs. So imagine that, how it would be. So, I mean, just like I'm using film for this project, so it's basically just pushing to 1,600 or even further up. But it's hard to get the movement in this kind of situation, especially if it escalates so fast. So we maybe have a film ready and you're like doing it on 400 ISO, and all of a sudden they start to dance or whatever, and you're like stuck with 1/3 of a second. How are you going to stop that? So today it's my, how do you say that? When you fail the exam and you need to do it one more time, today is it.
Was it something that you expected at all, or was it something that you were just go with punches as it were?
I tried to get Eddin Khoo to get me familiar with what I was getting into, but I think he did it deliberately, that he didn't tell me anything. So I expected everything, but didn't know anything, you know. So I knew it's gonna be intense because everybody was talking about it, and I knew it's gonna be powerful. But you know, when you're flying from some other place and okay, it's gonna be powerful, but what is powerful like, you know? So I didn't have a clue like what to expect, and I'm I'm curious how is it gonna go today, because yesterday it was quite shorter, and today it's gonna go on for like a few more hours.
Well, you were shooting with film cameras.
Yeah.
I saw a Hasselblad and then also a digital camera.
Yeah, but digital was to shoot portrait of you. I mean, since it's such an ancient tradition, I don't see it from my perspective to shoot it digitally. That was basically the idea of me and Eddin talking about it. It should be organic. since these rituals are organic. So yeah, I'm using everything is going to be black and white, medium format and Leica format. Yeah. But I still don't feel comfortable with digital, and it probably has a lot to do with the fact that when you're shooting digital, you have an endless Polaroid. So what you're doing is shooting photos, checking, shooting photos, checking. So with film, I mean, digital takes what film gives you, the fact that you shoot photos and you don't know what you have. So you go home, either if it's color, you put it to the lab or you develop it by yourself, and that's the extra excitement, and it's something more for me.
So there's a little bit of romance, isn't there, in the film?
Yeah. Still.
And they're slowly losing its luster,
Yeah. I mean, it was quite interesting because for this trip I went to the Kodak distributor back home, and I bought like 200 rolls of film, and I asked the lady when was the last time somebody, not as a shop but as a private person, came and bought this many films. She said, I don't remember, but I'm quite sure it will never ever happen again, you know. So but I think it has a lot to do. I mean, I learned photography on film, obviously. So for me, even certain cameras like Leica or Hasselblad or Fuji made great cameras like 6x7, the viewfinder cameras. Cameras give you that sense of comfort. Digital for me, it's not comfort, even though I see everything. You know, it gives me everything at once, and then what?
How, when you go back, how do you think you treat the photographs that you're going to develop?
The first and at this point important thing is that it was only first night for me. We're supposed to have like nine more performances, and then I'm gonna go to some other places in Malaysia to do this. So I'm expecting to be locked in my darkroom for a few days just to get it developed. Maybe get some either scans or index prints done, and then put it to rest for a while. To get you need some sense of distance to let it. In cooking, it would be called simmer. And then you get back to them, and then we need to decide with Eddin what we're gonna do, because he wants to do an exhibition, and if we're gonna do prints, I want to do them like the right way, so it's gonna be dark room again. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot of work, but I think I'm gonna be asking far more questions about what's actually happening once I'm finished taking photos. Because I don't want to arrange or choose photos that would be put in the wrong context, since I don't understand the language, you know, and photography can be that way. That's the problem with photography. So that's why digital cameras, the way they are now, are probably good for telling the truth, slightly better.
Obviously, like yesterday, I saw you so focused in trying to frame, take the shot, and then measuring the light. You know, you were not able to appreciate so much of what was happening.
No. I mean, I don't think if you ask any photojournalist that goes to the Olympics and, I don't know, takes photos of the final basketball game, if he remembers any action, you know, because we're so focused on what we came here to do, and that might be a problem, especially with this stuff. That's why I'm constantly asking, hey, did I go too far? Did I do something that is not appropriate? Sorry. But yeah, I try to make sense of what I'm seeing and try to compose it. It's hard because in this small stage, I would say it's like 3 by 5 meters. For them, everything makes perfect sense, but when it's two-dimensional and it's photo, it's kind of hard to make it work.
As a photographer, are you able to compartmentalize yourself in the sense of what genre are you working in?
I would say this could be understood as documentary photography. But since nobody really told me what to do or what they expect from me, I tend to put like that little twist, something I do. I don't know, maybe something that it's mine, or I do it differently and it's my way of shooting photos. That's the challenge for me.